Today, day 2, which is the topic name is shared responsibility model and how it impacts cloud computing. Today we are going to discuss about the shared responsibility model and how it impacts the cloud computing. As we know, traditional corporate data center where we have an IT department that will actually ensures to maintain the physical space, ensuring security and replacing servers. These all works are continually and effortlessly done by the IT department in a traditional data center, as we have a physical data center. The IT department is responsible for maintaining all the infrastructure and software needed to keep the data center up and running. They would be responsible for keeping all the systems patched and on the correct versions of the software. Got it? While the shared responsibility model, this model gets shared with the responsibility between a cloud provider and a consumer. Cloud provider, it has been evenly distributed between the consumer and the cloud provider, whereas physical security, power, cooling, and network connectivity, these kind of services and responsibilities are done by the cloud provider. Well, the consumer effortlessly doesn't matter with this kind of services as he or she focuses, that is consumers, we or you, the person who is watching the video right now, are the consumer, is the consumer. He will be responsible for the data that has to be injected in the databases in a data center, or the information that he has to be updated, that he has to make a sense for the consumer to have any of these responsibilities. And he is also responsible for the data and information that is stored in the cloud. The consumer is not just responsible for the data and information in the database, he is also responsible for the access security, where he or she will be giving access to the people who need it. So, generally, the consumer is responsible for the data and information that is injected in the database and also for the access security, who can give access to the people who need it. Next, in case if you consider a cloud SQL database, that you are using a cloud SQL database, then the cloud provider would be responsible for maintaining the actual database. As we have said, actual database which has been provided by the cloud provider if you are using a cloud SQL database. However, you will be the consumer, that is me or you, the one who is watching the video, is responsible for the data ingested in the database. Ingested is nothing but what you enter, what you get into the your database. You will be the whole responsible person who will be ingesting in, who will be transferring the data in the database. If you are using a cloud SQL database as an example, or otherwise, let's take an example of the deployment of virtual machine. If you deploy a virtual machine and install an SQL database, then the responsibility of you is database patches and updates. You know, right? Updates of a database, whenever there is an update, you will be responsible for those kind of updates and patches, the as well as maintaining the data and information that in the databases. If you consider about on-prem data center, you will be the responsible, not just you. On-prem data center, there is a responsibility of everything on you. You are not just evenly distributed, you are not even evenly distributed in this kind of on-prem data center. Well, in the cloud computing, It is a shift of responsibilities where it will have an even distribution between the cloud provider and the consumer. But there's an always an acknowledgement on the cloud types where the shift of this responsibilities is subjected to the IaaS, PaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. In the first IaaS, infrastructure as a service, most of the responsibility of the physical infrastructure will be handled by you. You are not you are responsible for. Whereas in the IAS, most of the responsibility has to be done by you, because as cloud provider is not responsible for even the physical security, power and connectivity. You will be the most responsibility taking person here. When it comes for SaaS, the cloud provider will be the most responsibility, as he himself the cloud provider will manage everything, and you have to manage just the software and the data and information in a database. And when it comes to PaaS, platform as a service, it has been evenly distributed between a cloud provider and consumer. For detailed explanation in the cloud service types, in the detailed explanation of cloud service types such as SaaS, software as a service, PaaS, platform as a service, IaaS, infrastructure as a service, and on-prem services, tune up to the tomorrow's day 3 vlog, and there will be a detailed explanation of how the shift of responsibilities in different services of the cloud types. If you really love to indulge yourselves in the learning of cloud computing, which is absolutely related to the Microsoft Azure, you would welcome to the channel. If you really genuinely support my channel, give a thumbs up, give a like, and like, share, and subscribe. Thank you, guys.